Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Conventional Machining Lab for Manchester Community College's Precision Manufacturing Program. This is where the students start in the first trimester of our 3-trimester program. They spend 8 weeks in here learning. We have 4 lathes and 4 mills, 4 Bridgeport-style mills in here. This is where they start cutting their teeth on the machines. So in our first trimester, the students not only are taking this lab, but they also are taking blueprint reading, measurement, and shop math. Okay, so this environment here is where those other 3 classes really come together and the rubber kind of hits the road here. So but all our classes are designed to support one another, and in here we support those other classes as well. So we stress, obviously, the hands-on measuring of their parts. We teach them how to read. We continue to teach them how to read blueprints, but it's for them. It's important to know that it's more than just the geometric representation of the part. There's notes that need to be considered. There's the title block where they learn what material to use and what tolerances that they are to stay within. And also any revisions, make sure they're working with the latest revision or the proper revision. So they learn to look for things beyond just the representation of the part itself. So like I said, in here we have 4 13-inch gearhead clausing lathes, and so they get hands-on this when they do the conventional turning and milling. They do learn how to knurl in here. Also, they learn how to use a 4-jaw chuck and dial a part in using a 4-jaw. Okay, so in addition to the traditional classes that we offer the first trimester and support in here, we also like to introduce them to lean concepts. So you'll see here that each machine has an identical set of tooling, so that no student has to borrow a tool from another, so they don't have to spend time looking for a tool. And they're taught to keep a neat, orderly workspace, and that at the end of the day, the tools go back where they belong. If they don't, they kind of catch it from me. Okay? So to give you an idea of what the students work on, this is one of the parts that they make. And you can see here that they have to face the part to length. They turn 4 different diameters. They have to put a radius on, and they have to put 2 angles on here. But it goes a little deeper than that with these angles. Because the print does not specify what the angle is, they have to use a little trigonometry using the print information to determine what the angle actually is. And then they set the compound and they cut the angles from there. Okay, so this is what the parts look like that they work on. And if they do well, maybe we can move them on to another part. But typically, they get through this part and then they switch over to the mills. But if you look down here, just to reinforce the lean principle, you can see that this machine has the identical set of tools, and subsequent machines down there also have the same tool. So, and for your reference, we just received in 4 Mitutoyo digital readouts for these machines. So over the summer, we'll be adding those to these machines. So this will be a nice little upgrade. It'll help the students get familiar with that as well. All right, so that's the lathe side. Over here on the mill side, we have, as I mentioned, we have 4 Bridgeport-style mills, and on the mills they learn how to. This is the part that they make right here, and it's basically a 1, 2, 3 block made out of aluminum, but they have to bring the thickness in, length and width. They chamfer the outside, and they drill and ream 1 hole, they drill and tap through hole, and then they drill and bottom tap a second hole there. The tolerances are all ±5 on this. But in addition to learning how to use face mills and end mills and that sort of thing to produce the part, drilling and reaming and tapping, They also learn how to tram the head, indicate the vise, tram a hole, so they learn how to use an indicator to set the parts up correctly. So one of the other additions that we've had in here is the ProtoTrack control on these machines. This is a 2-axis ProtoTrack conversational control. So with this, they learn how to do straight line positioning, and they could use that with these 3 holes, for instance. They can do bolt circles. They learn how to do bolt circles. They also learn how to create circular pockets. They learn how to create rectangular pockets, and also circular features and rectangular features, and that sort of thing. So it's a nice intermediary step to get them used to the idea of controlling before they get into the full-blown CNC, which those machines are in the 3rd trimester of our program. So if you sneak over here, you can also see the same lean principles in these cabinets over here. Okay, you'll see that each machine has a set of tools, so the student doesn't have to borrow. And you look down here to see that was machine 1, this is machine 2, and they each have an identical set of tooling so that the student doesn't have to wait around, fuss around, or anything like that. It really reinforces the lean principles that are so necessary in today's industrial world. And so I think that's it in here. As you can see, the shop is kept neat and orderly, and because we think that's also a valuable skill to have when you're working in somebody else's shop. So we try to teach them how to be professional, how to be lean, and we try to give them a real good set of skills moving forward. Thank you for your time.